Revelation 6 and verse 8. Now look at this carefully. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death. Note carefully. And hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, hunger, death, and beast of the earth. There's a famine coming. Hard times are coming. Right now is just the beginning of sorrows. It's the graciousness of God. It's God being merciful and long-suffering to us. He's that kind of God. He's trying to wake people up.
Came to bring the peace, boy. Came to bring the vision. Hey, what you know about the mission? I can see him coming in the distance. If you vote live, please call yourself a Christian. He didn't come to bring the peace, boy. Came to bring the vision. Hey, what you know about the mission? I can see him coming in the distance. If you vote live, please call yourself a Christian. He didn't come to bring the peace, boy. Came to bring the vision. We in the last days. Better get your act straight while you have grace. I can see you tripping and gripping the fast ways. And I can see you trying to have faith. Just bow down, cause I can see the sword coming out the sun's mouth. And it ain't cutting carrots, it be cutting down the proud. Receive love now, but judgment gonna hunt you down. The king is coming, trust me, you ain't running from the crown. The line's in the sand, America divided, and I'm fine with the plan. I'm trying to get right, cause one swipe of his hand, he wiping mankind and all life off the land. Even so come, Jesus came to put a wedge in between us. Separate the betas, but he ruined all the leaders. I know you hating cause I'm booming out your speakers. Hey, I won't cave, I'm speaking true to all believers, man. Look up in the sky, see the fire in his eyes, homie, you don't want smoke. King of kings on the side, but you already denied, bro, and there ain't no hope. Men's heart's gonna fail, the flesh will never prevail. You thinking it's still a joke? It ain't no joke, man. He didn't come to bring the peace, boy, he came to bring the vision. Hey, now what you know about the mission? I can see him coming in the distance. If you vote live, please call yourself a Christian. He didn't come to bring the peace, boy, he came to bring the vision. Hey, now what you know about the mission? I can see him coming in the distance. If you won't live, please call yourself a Christian. He didn't come to bring the peace, boy, he came to bring the vision. He separate the light and the dark. He put his sword in between it like dividing the heart. Your flesh crying out like the bite of a shark. The spirit knocking, won't you meet me by the side of the park? You're born again. Pro-life and pro-death, I speak right. I'm in a fight, it's like work, no sweat. Now don't worry, look at the birds, they don't stress. People dropping from corona, who knows I go next. Man, we all die. He separate the strong and the weak. He came to bring a message. Are you falling asleep? I'm asking. If you a rat, he'll cast you into the deep. Well, the worm dies not, there's plenty passing to eat. Yeah, and make you wanna fast for a week, or make you wanna laugh, you can't fathom the heat. The king is coming back and he jacking the sheep. His mighty hand will expand and it's smashing the weak. Look up in the sky, see the fire in his eyes, homie, you don't want smoke. King of kings on the side, but you already denied, bro, and there ain't no hope. Men's heart's gonna fail, the flesh will never prevail. You think it's still a joke? It ain't no joke, man. He didn't come to bring the peace, boy, he came to bring the vision. Hey, now what you know about the mission? I can see him coming in the distance. If you vote live, please call yourself a Christian. He didn't come to bring the peace, boy, he came to bring the vision. Hey, now what you know about the mission? I can see him coming in the distance. If you vote live, please call yourself a Christian. He didn't come to bring the peace, boy, he came to bring the vision.
There's fear in the hearts of the people out here. They're scared to death because they think they may die. And my dear friend, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, dying is a horrible thing. You keep putting it off, you say. Sure, you put it off. Put off the thought of it, but as sure as you live, the death angel following you. He's walking in your footsteps. He's walking behind you. David said, there is but a step between me and death. He knew that. The day will come when you'll draw your last breath on this earth. Then where would you go?
Then where will you go? All right. Okay, I can take these off now. We are in Proverbs. Proverbs. Let me see. What's a word to look? Who wrote Proverbs? Solomon? Look, Google already knows what I'm going to look up. Yep, attributed primarily to Solomon. known for his wisdom, but it's actually a collection from several authors, including Solomon, a group called the Wise, Agur from Proverbs 30, and King Lemuel, Proverbs 31. Solomon compiled and edited many sayings, but other wise men and scribes also contributed, with the book being assembled over time. What's the oldest manuscript that we have? Probably the Dead Sea Scrolls. The book was likely written and compiled during Solomon's reign, 971 to 931 BC, and later edited with King Hezekiah's scribes adding a collection in chapters 25 through 29. In essence, while Solomon is the central figure, Proverbs is a diverse anthology of wisdom from different times and sources, unified under a Solomonic tradition. Solomonic tradition. Sources are St. Mary Catholic Church, Thomas Nelson Bibles, EBSCO, Wikipedia, LCBC Church, thomasgotquestions.org, alabasterco.com, Faith Baptist Bible College. What's the oldest manuscript? It's got to be Dead Sea Scrolls. Oldest extant manuscripts containing portions of the biblical book of Proverbs come from the Dead Sea Scrolls, predating later medieval codices like the Aleppo Codex and Leningrad Codex, which preserve the fuller Masoretic text. While these scrolls contain only fragments, they provide the earliest physical witnesses to the Hebrew text of Proverbs. Fragments like 4Q 102 contain verses from Proverbs. Example, Proverbs 127 through 33, and are the earliest physical manuscripts dating to the late Second Temple period, around 30 BC to 30 AD. It says BCE and CE, but I don't use that bull crap. Masoretic text for complete or near complete Hebrew versions, the Aleppo Codex in the 10th century and Codex Leningradensis in 1008 AD are crucial, representing later but highly influential traditions. Proverbs itself contains collections attributed to Solomon, parts believed to have been copied by scribes of King Hezekiah, placing their collection much earlier than the oldest surviving manuscripts. So while the context of Proverbs reflects much older traditions, the oldest physical manuscripts we possess are the DSS fragments, the Dead Sea Scroll fragments. Good morning, re-examination. Okay, so that's all the background on it. And yeah, it's basically just a bunch of wise quotes. A lot of good little trinkets in here. Little trinkets of information. And I think oh no, never mind. Okay, so I'm not sure how far we're going to get into this. We're just going to look for all the little treasures in here. A lot of these that's why I like Proverbs, because you can come to it at different times throughout your life. And you may read it at one point in your life, and you're like, ooh, I like this one. This one hits me. This one hits me. This one, ooh, there's something to this. It'll apply to you at that time. But then you read it again 10 years later, and then again 10 years later, and then again 10 years later. And every time you'll catch certain ones will catch your eye, and you'll be like, dang, I like that. Like 10 years ago when I was reading Proverbs, all the stuff about the nagging wife, I was highlighting those verses. Now, probably not so focused on those verses. But Thanks for keeping me company as I fall asleep, JS and chat. Proverbs 21:1 is mind-blowing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably I might recognize it when I get there. I don't know. I don't have all the chapters and verses memorized or anything. All right. Chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtly to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Ooh! And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scornings, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Hold on one second. Because I have called. Is this the right page? Because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. That sounds like it's straight out of one of the Psalms that we read. This whole section about they shall call me, I will not answer. Like, this is like exactly like one of the Psalms we read. Angry amputee, what's up? All right. Chapter 2. My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom, and apply thine heart to understanding, yea, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding, If thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the paths of judgment and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. When wisdom entereth into thine heart and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee. To deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things, who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths. We looked up froward before, but I need to look it up again. Froward. What a weird word. Froward. Someone or something willingly disobedient, perverse, stubborn, and contrary to what is right. So froward is bad. It's not like another old way of saying forward. Like Psalm 7-ish? Maybe. Possibly. Frowardness. Bad. Not good. Whose ways are crooked and whose ways are crooked and they froward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman. Ooh, the strange woman. You got to watch out for that strange woman. The Bible's always talking about strange women. No bueno. Deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger who flattereth with her words, which forsaketh the guide of her youth and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. Base. Watch out for that strange woman, man. You know? Chapter 3. Like going to and froward, lacking direction. Okay, so instead of staying on the right path, they're going to and fro. They're all over. Stubborn, perverse, contrary to what is right, turning away from God's path or commands. Froward, to and froward. Froward on. Chapter 3. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. That's a legendary verse. That one's also in Psalms too, and all like multiple times throughout the Bible. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. That's a legendary one. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is every one that retaineth her. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, Go and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee. Pay your debts on time. You got the money, pay your debts. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. See, that one was full of bangers. A lot of bangers in there. Proverbs go hard. I told y'all Proverbs go hard. Some wisdom in here. All right. Chapter 4. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. Not no understanding, K-N, to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. I keep wanting to say persevere. Preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So you can't have understanding without wisdom. Well, it doesn't necessarily exclude, but with wisdom you get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom, I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. I have to sneeze. Take fast hold of instruction, let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. My son, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Hold on. Their life to those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a froward mouth and perverse lips. Put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all the ways be established. Turn not to the right hand nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. Stay on the straight and narrow. The strange women and strange children. Yes, the Proverbs 31 woman is not the strange woman. The strange woman is talked about a lot in Proverbs. The nagging woman. You know, Proverbs has a lot of relationship stuff in it. But the Proverbs 31 woman is not the strange woman. She's the nice woman. She's the nice lady. She's wifey material. Chapter 5. My son, attend unto my wisdom and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. She got a smooth mouth. What that mouth do? Is that mouth smoother than oil, girl? She got that talk. Am I servicing weird clumps? I don't know what that means. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. Lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel. Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. And thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of... There's one of those little symbols that this is like a new thought now. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Loving hind and pleasant roe. I think those are animals. The loving hind and pleasant roe. I think it's like the ox and the loving hind and pleasant roe. Then it says LDS. What? What is Proverbs 1? Phrase loving hind and pleasant roe, used as an affectionate and poetic description of a man's wife. Hind and roe. A hind is a female deer, and a rose is a mountain goat. I knew they were animals. I figured the roe would have been the deer. I was thinking roe was a deer and hind was like an ox. Hind is a female deer, and a roe is a mountain goat. Or fawn. Oh no, a fawn could be a fawn. A roe could be a fawn. So a hind is mama deer. The roe is Bambi. Okay. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. So just picture a mama deer and a baby deer. Don't think about Bambi. Think about the scene in Bambi right before, mama gets taken out. When it's peaceful in the park and it's like, and you see the mama deer and the baby deer, and they're like, that's what it's talking about. Before the hunter shoots the mom. Did you finish reading? No. Negative. Loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times. Let's go. and be thou ravished always with her love. Dang. I'm getting a little spicy up in here, Proverbs. Where'd my highlighter go? Do you hear that? And what is the fountain? The fountain of your youth? Let them only be thine own and not strangers with thee. Is that an anti-polygamy verse right there? Because I'm looking for those. I'm always looking for anti-polygamy verses because everybody will always point to like 2 verses. There's a lot more than that. That almost seems like one, but I'm doing oh, yeah, re-examination said it right there. This is a good verse against poly too, singular wife. Yes, that's what I was just thinking. I didn't even see that you had said that. Oh, I know. I did a whole show about Song of Solomon a couple years ago. I have a people y'all probably say, "Oh, he's eisegeting this wrongly." I don't think I'm wrong. I think well, I'll tell you about Song of Solomon when we get to Song of Solomon, but it is poly, huh? Okay. Yeah, cuz it says it was talking about the wife. Hold on. Have not obeyed the voice of my teacher. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. So let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed. Yeah, but it says them. Let them be only thine own. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Rejoice with the wife of your youth. Again, get married young, be fruitful, multiply. Yeah, this is a good anti-poly chunk right here. I was trying to get a biblical polygamy. The Bible does not support polygamy debate with one guy, and that didn't happen. But there's another guy that debated Andrew about it. He's got a pretty big channel. He's got like 40K subs, but I bet you he would take a debate. Maybe if Easy reached out to him on my behalf, because Easy's got a bigger audience. Maybe he's got some more pull. And this guy's debated Andrew before. I can't remember his name though, but there's a guy on YouTube. He's got like 40,000 subscribers. He's like a red pill guy. And his whole thing is polyamory. He says the way we save the West, the way we save marriages, the way we save Christianity is men need to take multiple wives. And he justifies it. He says he justifies it by the Bible, but I don't see much chapter and verse happening. You know, well, what they say is all the guys in the Bible have multiple wives. All the best guys in the Bible have multiple wives. David, Solomon, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all of them had multiple wives. Yeah, but that either leads directly to their downfall or they get punished. David and Bathsheba's first kid gets killed. God kills the kid. And then with I always get Isaac and Jacob mixed up. Who's the one that worked for 7 years to marry Leah, but the dad gave him the other sister instead? And so he had to work another 7 years to get the other sister that he really wanted to be married to. And then the whole time he's having babies with the first lady, but he doesn't love her. He was tricked. But he had made an agreement, so he had to, he went through with it. But he was tricked, and it was not a blessing. Yeah, that's Jacob. And then Abraham sleeps with the slave, which, he didn't marry her, or the handmaiden of, dude, I'm so bad with names, of Sarah. And he I mean, that he didn't marry her, so it's not technically polyamory. It's more like adultery, but still, he got with another woman besides his wife. I mean, if I threw that one, that guy would probably just say, well, yeah, but he didn't marry her. I don't even know. Do we know that he didn't marry her? Hagar, yeah. But anyway, that didn't work out good. How come Isaac was blessed? Ishmael, you hear about him like twice and he disappears into the wilderness. You know? Solomon starts simping for all these other ladies and building them idols and worshiping with them. My theory is he didn't actually believe in those other gods. He was just simping. He was trying to flex for the ladies. His weakness was the ladies, not these other gods. But to get the ladies, you go along to get along. Happy wife, happy life. Happy 600 wives, happy life. So he just starts building them idols and like, let's worship this thing. Can we get to bed now? That's what I think was happening. I don't know. But I think he was simping. Samson. No, Samson had a weakness for a lady, but his downfall wasn't polygamy. But it was his weakness for the ladies. Solomon sinned against Deuteronomy 17:17. Is Deuteronomy 17:17 the one that says kings shall not multiply wives unto themselves or horses or riches or something like that? Yeah, that's one that nobody ever brings up in a polygamy debate, and that's the one that I always go to. A lot of people don't think about if that's the one that I'm thinking of. That says kings should not multiply wives unto themselves or riches or horses, I think. Anyway, but this is a good one. I like this. I'm actually going to put a little post-it in here because if I ever do this debate, biblical the Bible does not support. You have to say polyamory now because all these are, what do they say? Polygyny? I don't even know the words that these guys use. Stupid words, but the red pill guys all say polygyny. Mark 10:1-2 is the killer for polygamy. I think that's the one that Andrew used against this guy and against Captain Tazariak. And both of them said that's just for priests. If it's the one that I'm thinking of, what's Mark 10:1-12? Let me see. Mark 10:1-12. Then comes the coast of Judea. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, "Is the law for man to put away his wife?" Tempting him, and he answered to him, Moses commanded him. Moses. This one's about divorce. And then it goes on. I have it highlighted. But from the beginning of the creation of God made them male and female. For this shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. And they twain shall not be flesh. And they twain shall be shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder. Doesn't say, okay, yeah, so that's a good one too. And even if it even says, even if you put away your wife and marry another, you're committing adultery against your wife. So right there in 11, if you have two wives and that means nightly you're committing adultery unless you're having, multi sessions every time. But like if you, the way Mormons do it is there will be multiple bedrooms and the women will take turns, I get Monday and Wednesday, you get Tuesday and Thursday, you get Saturday. The party lady, she gets Friday and Saturday. She's the party girl. She's the young one. But each night you're putting away one wife to commit adultery with the other wife. So, no, the Bible does not support polygamy. I want this debate with this guy. I'm going to have to send Easy his channel. I know Andrew knows him and Easy knows Andrew, so maybe we can get something going. That would be cool. And I'm more of a Bible thumper than Andrew. So I would take a totally different approach than Andrew took. I would be going, let's go through the Bible then. If the debate is about biblical polygyny, whatever, let's go through it. And I'll thump. I may not know all the chapters and verses, but I can thump. See, look, I already had that highlighted. Not biblical. Polygyny. And then another one here. No, but the one Andrew uses is in the New Testament, something about the priests only taking one wife. And then he used that on Tazariak, and Tazariak is like, well, that's just talking about the priests. And then if you bring up the one in Deuteronomy, they'll say, well, that's just for kings. And then I would say, so you're telling me regular, lowly, poor people, carpenters, merchants, all these people in the city, they're allowed to do polygamy, but the king's not allowed to do polygamy? Does that make sense? And I'd be like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a dang peasant or you want to be a king? Mr. Red Pill, Mr. Alpha Male, you want to be a king? Okay, well, act like a king and stop talking about multiple wives. Kings ought not have multiple wives. King. If priests are supposed, exactly. That's the same. Yeah, that's the same way I would rebuttal it. If kings and priests can't have multiple wives, what makes you think peasants can? Like, you mean the top echelon of society isn't supposed to do something, but we should just run around doing it? No, that's dumb. I always get hyphy when we talk about this because I really want this debate. But it needs to be with like a red pill guy. Check Revelation 1:6 and 5:10. We are kings and priests. Yeah, I didn't know there was a verse to support that, but that's kind of like what I was getting at is like we are the king. We can be the kings and the priests, or we should at least aspire to be. So why would I expect a rule that applies to them? Why should that not apply to everyone who's a Christian? Yeah. See? Easy. This is an easy debate. And then I would run through, and then in the 4 books of Kings, or First and Second Samuel, and First and Second, all through First, Second Samuel, First, Second Kings, First and Second Chronicles, all throughout those 6 books, it's cyclical. There's a good king who does right in the eyes of the Lord, and then there's a bad king who does evil in the eyes of the Lord. And I was going through it. I didn't start thinking to do this until we were like, of those 6 books, we had already read like 3 of them. But then from that point on, I started paying attention, and I was like, okay, every time it says this king did right in the eyes of the Lord, let's see if it mentions that he has multiple wives. And other than like one situation where a guy takes another wife and it was like a special situation, all the kings that did right in the eyes of the Lord, it never mentions them having multiple wives. All the kings that did evil in the eyes of the Lord, it talks about how they multiplied wives. Almost every time. So I would go through and get all their names and then the example. So-and-so did right in the eyes of the Lord. It only mentions his one wife. So-and-so did evil in the eyes of the Lord. He multiplied wives unto himself. And then just go back and forth, back and forth. Seems to be a pattern here. A house divided cannot stand. Here's my new wife. Anyway, here's my new wife. Right. And has made us unto our God kings and priests. and we shall reign on the earth. Nice. That's perfect. So you tell them, Deuteronomy, it says kings should not multiply wives unto themselves. Matthew, or whichever one it is in the New Testament, says priests should not have more than one wife. Then I say, as a Christian, do you aspire to be like a king or a priest? Do you think that you could? He's probably going, well, I don't know. And I'm going to say, well, what about here in Revelation where it says God is making us like kings and priests? Got him. What's Chris Terry saying? Rev and reexamination. Chris Terry in the chat is a Hebrew Israelite. He likes to call in sometimes and argue with me. He believes that we are Edomites. We're the lineage of Esau, and we are going to be enslaved by black people in heaven. That's what he believes. Polygamy is lust, if you ask me. I agree. I think it's a common trope. It's a trope throughout the whole Bible. I don't know. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. I'd say lust for women is the most common trope from Adam, all throughout the Bible, all the men. It's always a dang strange woman that takes them out until we get to Jesus. You don't see that same problem once you get to the New Testament. I think by then they learned. They're like, yo. That's what Paul said. It's better you just don't get married. But if you're going to burn, you might as well burn together. What did he say? And everyone, multiple wives in heaven, Matthew 19:29. And everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands, or my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting. So if you forsake your one wife, you receive 100 wives in heaven. Is this Islam now? And just so you guys know, I'm sure you've already figured it out. Hebrew Israelites, they like to just like cherry pick verses and make some crazy. Oh, I got barbecue sauce on my lip. Or A1. I had a steak for breakfast. When you read anything he says, if you read the whole chapter in context, it usually has nothing to do with whatever argument he's making. So just so you know. And mothers, yeah. If you forsake your mother, you get 100 mothers in heaven. That's what that means. Oh, Lord. That's what it says. Shimdalalala. Shimdalalalala. Okay. Hold on. He shall die without instruction and in the greatness of his folly. Did I finish this? And why wilt... Oh, no, I was going to read the spicy part again. Let her be as the loving hind in pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. Okay, I'm down. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? Well, I mean, I can think of a few reasons, but, for the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Dang. Don't be messing around with them strange women now. Just wait. Chapter 6, sorry. My son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth. Thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself when thou art come into the hand of thy friend. Go humble thyself and make sure thy friend. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. This is kind of like the idle hands of the devil's plaything. It's saying, stop being lazy, stop laying around doing nothing. This is like a proverb about the cure for depression right here. I always say depression is what is it? What is it? What is it? Comfortable man, I can't remember what I always say anymore. Laziness. Oh. Depression is comfortable laziness. If you're able to be lazy and be comfortable, you get bored and eventually you get depressed. If you're busy, like I used to say, well, I still believe this. If a grown man says to me, "I'm bored," I'm like, "What's wrong with you? Is there something wrong with you? You're bored? You're a grown man. You're 30 years old. How do you have time to be bored? I wish there was more hours in the day. I don't have time to be bored. I'm either sleeping or I'm working on this, which is, I enjoy it, but it's also a form of work. I ain't got time to be bored. I don't have enough time to do what I need to do. I got to plan for a debate. I got to schedule a show. I got to make some videos. I got to write a script for this Juicy Jason interaction that I'm planning. By the way, guys, spoiler alert. I'm trying to get it to where I have Juicy and Jason on camera at the same time, in the same room, in the same shot, talking to the camera. It's going to take some serious editing and some serious it's more difficult than you think because I have to write a script. But anyway, I got too much to do to be bored. So that's when you get depressed, is when you're a grown man and you're able to be lazy and be comfortable, you become bored. Idle hands are the devil's playthings. This is saying you're a sluggard, you're sleeping, you're just laying around, you're not doing anything. You're going to be poor. But nowadays with socialism, with welfare, you can start a daycare, you know? You can be rich and lazy. You could be a rich sluggard. And that's why people get depressed, because they're comfortable and lazy. And this is saying, be like the ant. The ant don't even got to be told to do nothing, and it's grinding all day long, building an anthill, getting some snacks, raiding the picnic basket, you know? Ant ain't got to be told to clock in. Ant ain't getting a paycheck. Ant going to work. What are we talking about? You commit adultery against the wife if you engage in polygamy. Facts. Yeah, I agree. The man is God in comparison to the woman, so it's God in comparison to the woman. You commit adultery against the wife if you engage in polygamy. But the man is God in comparison to the woman, so he can do whatever he wants. You know that doesn't make any sense what you just said. I think what you're trying to say is the wife commits adultery against the husband So if the wife sleeps with another, you're saying if the wife sleeps with another man, she's committing adultery against the husband. But if the man sleeps with so you're doing the red pill thing. You're arguing for polygyny, right? You're a feminist because you don't believe that the man is God in comparison to the woman. I don't think that what you just said makes you, you seem like a nice guy, Mark, but that comment doesn't make any sense. We're not God. We're the comparison is what is it? We're the bridegroom, and the comparison is like as Jesus is to the church, so the man is to the wife. You think Jesus can just run around and cheat on the church? You think he can hang out? You know, he can be Muslim Jesus one day, and he can be who is it? Who's the Hindu guy? Christus. What's the Hindu thing? The Hindus that are kind of like Christian. They're not Hare Krishna. One day he's Hare Krishna. One day he's Buddha. One day he's one day he's the Jesus of the Quran, and then one day he's Christian Jesus. Is that no? What are you talking about? You think Jesus cheats on the Christian church, or he's polygynous? No. We're the church, us Christians are the bride, he's the bridegroom. Adulterers will go to hell, end of story. He's trying to say that men can't be adulterers, which is nonsense. I don't know where he's getting that from. Mark 10 proves a man can commit adultery against his wife. Yes, Jesus can do that. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. No. That would violate all the laws of logic. Because if two of those Jesus, quote unquote, Jesuses, if Hare Krishna contradicts with Jesus, which contradicts with the Quran Jesus, who is just a prophet, not the Son of God, and then Hare Krishna, I don't know what that guy's about. If they contradict with each other, you're violating the laws of identity. You're violating the law of non-contradiction. I don't know if it touches on excluded middle, but it probably does somehow. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth. Yeah, I don't. It breaks the covenant bond, dilutes personal intimacy, and ultimately leads to harsh subjugation or divorce. See, that's a great, this Rev will be good at debating, because if you can come up with 3 reasons why something's wrong, then you basically got the skeleton of an opening statement right there in that line. You say, these are the 3 reasons why it's wrong. And then you go in depth on each one of them. And then that's your opening. But I would do something like that. And then I'd have another paragraph that's just going through Bible verses. And here's why biblically this doesn't line up. Excluded middle, faithful and not faithful at the same time. Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about laziness. Anyway. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. New thought, or new stanza here. Verse 12. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet. He teacheth with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. This is where people get people will always point to this for the 7 deadly sins. which is not biblical. It's Dante. It's Divine Comedy. But you say, I say to people, they'll be like, oh, well, that's one of the 7 deadly sins. It's in the Bible. And I'm like, 7 deadly sins aren't in the Bible. But, and then they'll point to this. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in runnings to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. My son, keep thy father's commandments, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thy heart, and tie them about thy neck. We've talked about I want to write a little star and a note here because I always forget what this is called, and I'm about to look it up. If I write it down, I might remember it. So, do you know that Jews are one of the first people to start doing tattoos? Jews and tattoos. It's a true story. So, they would, you see this a lot, bind them continually upon thine heart and tie them about thy neck. So some Jewish people take that very literally, and they'll either wear a necklace with scripture in it on their neck, or wrapped around their arm, they'll have this rope with and then they'll carry a little box with scripture in it in their hand. Tat Jews. Yes, tat Jews. Yep. So later they started doing tattoos, and instead they would tattoo these things on their arms and on their chest. Tattoos, and there's a word for it. Maybe somebody said it already. Jewish scripture boxes on necks. Why do Jewish wear black box? The tefillin, phylacteries. Tefillin or phylacteries. That's what the word that I was looking for. And I always try to remember that, and I always forget it. Tefillin is the Jewish word, I believe. And then the fancy word is phylacteries. I don't know why I always end up talking about this whenever I see it in the Bible, but it's just interesting to me. So there's different ones. There's the batim, which is the black leather boxes. The retzout, long leather straps used to bind the boxes. And then they put 4 scrolls in it with verses from Deuteronomy and Exodus. And then one box, they put a box on their forehead, one on the bicep of a non-dominant arm with straps wrapped around the arm and hand. So I'll show you real quick. Jewish GoPro. It looks like a GoPro. It does look like a GoPro. So here, this is what I'm talking about. So you have the strap, and then there's a box with scriptures in it that goes on your bicep, and then there's another one you wrap around your head, and you have this box on your forehead with scriptures in it from Deuteronomy and Exodus. Those are the phylacteries. In Hebrew, they're called tefillin. worn by observant Jewish men each weekday morning during prayer. But anyway, so they also tattoo these. They tattoo these. None of these people have them tattooed. These are real ones. The heck is that? Anyway, some people it's actually a sick looking tattoo. They have the straps going around their arm and the box tattooed. I've never seen anybody with it tattooed on their forehead, but I've seen people with tattoos of it, and it goes all the way up their arm, and it looks pretty sick, actually. But anyway. This is why I lean heavily on covenant theology. You have to in a covenant to reap the benefits thereof. If you're not in the covenant, you're not getting the benefits. I can't go to Google or Microsoft and demand a bonus, 401k, and retirement plan when I don't work at those businesses. Jesus is considered the mediator, fulfillment, and very embodiment of the new covenant. Okay. Tephilim and phylacteries. Tephilim and phylacteries. Okay. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. You better keep that flattery tongue out of here. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her, shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A woman in dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. I like that one. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is a light. Lust not after her beauty, to keep thee from the flattery of an evil woman, the tongue of a strange woman. It's raining outside. It snowed a little bit last night, finally. Look at the payments men give to OF. Reduced to a piece of bread and no money left. Yeah, you're just eating bread. So all you got left is some crumbs. She took everything. It's a dang. Gotta watch out for a whorish woman. Chapter 7. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Bind them upon thy fingers and write them upon the table of thine heart. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youth a young man void of understanding, passing through the street near her corner. And he went the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Ooh. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I prayed my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. For the good man is not at home. He is gone a long journey. The good man, was that her husband? He hath taken a bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips she forced him. Ooh, she forced him. This is rape. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Dang, boy. Proverbs go hard, dude. That's savage. Jake, who's Jake? Oh, Jake Rated? Oh, VO. Yeah, I know Jake. What up, Jake? Thank you for the raid. Did you hear that? Dang, savagery. This poor guy just walking down. Could you imagine you're just a lonely guy? You have no understanding. You're just walking around one night and this dang whore comes up to you and she's like, hey, baby, my husband's out of town. You know, he took all the money. I ain't got no money. He took all the money with him. He'll be back another day. But for now, give me a kiss, baby. She got a snake tongue. She got a flattering mouth. She says, my bed is nice. It's ready to go. Let's go make love. That ain't love. And then he goes in, and she's got dang vagina dentata. She swallows him up like a pit, brings him down to hell. I blame the guy too. No pity for him. Well, he didn't have understanding, and it says she forced him with her words. She tricked him. You know? What's this guy supposed to do? He can't help it. He's dumb. This is what somebody said this about I'm not going to say who said it on this stream, but I'll tell you later if you want to know. But he said the predator hunters, you know, it's good that they're getting these sick guys off the street, but at the same time, it's like these guys are like 40 years old and they've never talked to a female in their life. And all of a sudden, a cute girl is flirting with them and wants to meet up with them and hang out. But then she's like, yeah, but I'm 15. And these guys are like, dang, what do I do? You know, you kind of got, you're like, no. Anyway, stop. But just think about it. It's kind of not cool that it's not cool that these guys do this, but it's also like, what do you expect them to do? It's not that it's right. It's just, you know, what do you expect? Anyway. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying somebody said that, and then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I kind of see what they mean. Okay. Chapter 8. Doth not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way, in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom, O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the openings of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I wisdom dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. So he's talking about wisdom in the first person. So all the I and my, this is like wisdom speaking. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth, and when there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world, when he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my door. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall attain favor of the Lord. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. That's crazy. So it's from verse 12 until the end. It starts, I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge. And then I do hate, I am understanding. I love them that love me. I was there. But it starts out, I, wisdom, dwell with prudence. But that whole section seems like it's talking about Jesus. Is the implication there? Is this, it's, because it says I, wisdom. So this is like, here's what comes with wisdom. But that was a dense, epic verse. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that that's I don't know if you would call that prophetic, but it's like a parallel. It's like drawing a line. especially when it talks about being with God from the beginning, by him and raised up with him as one. That seems like it's talking about Jesus. So, I mean, it could be both. It could be, if you read it for what it says, it's saying wisdom is all these things. But also Jesus is all these things, and Jesus is wisdom. I don't know. That one's deep. I'm just going to do something real quick. Just going to highlight these verses real quick. I think you could do a whole breakdown of just that right there. All right. What time is it? It's 11:09. Probably do one more chapter. Maybe 2. 10 is pretty long. No, we'll do 9 and 10 and then we'll be done. So we'll do 9 right. We'll do 2 more chapters. King Solomon was known to be wise too. This is written by Solomon. That was Solomon writing. Are you saying, yeah, but he's not, that's not Solomon saying he is wisdom. He's speaking like he's writing like from the perspective of wisdom. Wisdom is the person, and wisdom is saying, I am this, I bring this, I do this, I was here always, But it sounds parallel to Jesus. Chapter 9. Wisdom hath builded her house, she hath hewn out her 7 pillars. See, it's talking about wisdom like it's a person. But it's a her. Now it's a her. She hath killed her beasts, she hath mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. She hath sent forth her maidens. She cried upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, Come, eat of my bread, and drink of my wine which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish, and live, and go in the way of understanding. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. If you correct an angry person, they hate you. But if you correct a wise person, he loves you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. This part's crazy. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city, to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. She's saying, let's sneak off and get a little lovey-dovey going, It's better if it's forbidden. It's going to be nicer. But if you have understanding, that's the depths of hell. Don't go there. Just a thought that popped in my mind. Well, no, I mean, you're right. Solomon wrote that. So artichoke, spinach, mozzarella balls. What are you talking about food for, Auntie? All right, one more chapter. Chapter 10. I don't got no water. I ain't got no water with me. Chapter 10. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Yeah, I know about that. I was a foolish son. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death. The Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. See, don't be lazy. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame. Blessings are upon the head of the just, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. The memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall rot. The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. He that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow, but a prating fool shall fall. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirreth up strifes, but love covereth all sins. In the lips of him that hath understanding wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. A rod for the back. Oh, so spare the rod, spoil the child is about smacking. The rod is for the back. In the lips of him that hath understanding wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. A rich man's wealth is his strong city. Ooh, I like that. That's a good one for the Christian nationalists. A rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. The labor of the righteous tendeth to life, the fruit of the wicked to sin. He is in the way of life that keepeth instruction, but he that refuseth reproof erreth. He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. Watch the words you use. The tongue of the just is as choice silver, the heart of the wicked is little worth. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. It is as sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding hath wisdom. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. As the whirlwind passeth, so is the wicked no more, but the righteous is an everlasting foundation. As vinegar to the teeth, and as smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to them that send him. The fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. The way of the Lord is strength to the upright, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. The righteous shall never be removed, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. The mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the mouth of the wicked speaketh frowardness. There's a bunch of comparisons there between the wise and the foolish. Based. All right. I think there's only 31 chapters in Proverbs, so we'd probably be able to wrap this up in 2 more days, and then we're back on Oh, wait. We have Ecclesiastes and Song of Solomon before we get to Isaiah. Remember, we started this all at Isaiah. I think we started at like Isaiah 41-ish, somewhere in the middle towards the end of Isaiah, because that's what I just happened to be reading at the time when I started doing this. And we finished Isaiah. And then I said, you guys want to just pick a random book and we'll just do a poll and read whatever book the chat picks? But we did a poll and the chat all said start from the beginning. So we went to the beginning and we're making our way through. But so I've already streamed some of Isaiah, but I'm still just going to read it all the way through again. Isaiah is a deep book. It's there are people that spend their whole lives just studying Isaiah and Jeremiah. It's a deep one. The meek shall inherit the earth. These Bible verses, they're jam-packed with ancient divine wisdom. This is true. I know. I love Proverbs. All right, guys. I'm gonna head out. Thanks for the raid, Jake, even though I didn't stream very long afterwards. But we knocked out 10 chapters, so that's good. Let's see if there's anywhere I can raid you guys. Uneducated Economist is on. Zeb's on. I'm gonna go to Zeb Boykin. I haven't seen him on in a while. Send you over to Zeb Boykin. God bless you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Tomorrow we'll do our Friday morning show. It won't be a Bible stream. We're probably gonna because Monday night I'm gonna talk about the ICE shooting, and there was a shooting here in Salt Lake City yesterday or the day before. Talk about that Monday night. So I'm saving that for Monday night. But I have a debate on not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So not even 2 weeks away. So I'm going to start prepping for that. And I want to be prepared because I can't stand First Amender, but he's not an idiot. He's a smart guy and he'll do his research. So I need to do my research. So we'll probably start with debate prep tomorrow. Basically, I'm debating about Venezuela. Is Trump in the right or in the wrong? And I'm saying he's in the right. So I need to learn all about all the different regime changes, different examples we can use throughout history of regime changes, all the gotcha questions they're going to ask. We need to learn about that Honduran president that Trump pardoned. So tomorrow morning we'll probably be doing all Venezuela stuff and all just looking into regime changes and stuff like that. Tomorrow's research morning, and then we'll be on VK tomorrow night. But that's the plan, guys. Thank you for hanging out. God bless. We're sending you over to Zeb Boykin. He's pretty cool, does politics and stuff. Tell him what's up from JS. God bless you guys. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace.